don't do this very long, because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And that price is depression, deep depression, a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction. It leads so many people to impulsive behavior.
Of anything of that sort. That's a federal crime. And trust me, people would love to see Jake Paul end up in jail.
Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic competition, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. I mean, he was fighting.
That shattered jaw courtesy of Anthony Joshua might have just slammed the door on Jake Paul's boxing future. Joe Rogan jumped in afterward, reminding everyone that Jake has already checked plenty of career boxes and stacked a massive fortune. Rogan cautioned that chasing fights at this level is insanely risky and can cause permanent bodily harm or lasting mental health problems, depression included. He argued the gamble simply is not worth it anymore, urging Jake to walk away from the ring to safeguard his health. Rogan's take underlines the brutal fallout waiting for fighters who push past boxing's safety boundaries today.
It didn't have any effect.
Yeah.
Because he's, really, he weighed 216, but he's doesn't even have abs, right, at 216. He could easily weigh 190.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
So big, dude.
He's so big.
I give Jake so much credit for stepping into that ring.
Bro, he got hit with a bomb, a right-hand bomb.
When he got hit with that too, I don't know if enough has been made of the fact that, it was absolutely devastating. But the fact that he had awareness immediately to go like he looked at the crowd
he's
like, oh shit, like wow.
He goes,
It
"I got
wasn't like,
cracked."
yeah.
I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen,
yeah.
and ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it, and that he could do well for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then eventually just deal with the fact that Anthony Joshua is going to connect with a bomb, and breaks his jaw in 2 places.
Yeah. And
He's fucked. His jaw's wired shut now. He lost teeth.
See, he made it to the 6th round.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Do they put your teeth back in when they pop out like that, or are they gone forever?
I don't know. But it's just wired shut for like 6 weeks now.
Yeah, you got.
Calling it reckless, Chael Sonnen ripped into Jake Paul's latest fight, insisting matchups like this are wildly dangerous and should never be sanctioned. He said the bout looked less like real boxing and far more like a raw fight for survival. From bell to bell, Jake kept moving non-stop, carefully dodging serious damage whenever he could. There were brief moments he stepped in to engage, then instantly backed out to save himself. At points, he even dropped to his knees or used grappling-style positions simply to stay safe and avoid major injury. Chael Sonnen stressed Jake's showing was basically an endurance trial, likening his effort to a caged animal doing absolutely everything possible just to survive inside the ring that brutal night.
These guys fought. That was not a boxing match. It just wasn't. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic competition, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. Then it turns to where he can't stay away anymore. So now he's got to go the other way. He's got to go forward. So now he's clinched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. He was fighting. These guys were fight. Jake was fighting for his survival, and you could so see it. You could see this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through, not even kill its prey, just make it through. And it was incredible. It was really incredible. So on the back end, some of the comments that I made or that I had heard were so confusing.
Even while crediting Jake's grit and ability to absorb pressure, Chael Sonnen warned that fights like this come loaded with brutal physical and mental dangers. He stressed those risks can spiral into long-term consequences if these matchups keep happening. Yes, Jake's bravery and persistence inside the ring stood out, but Sonnen made it crystal clear the priority must always be a fighter's safety and well-being. Forcing athletes into such reckless situations, he argued, is flat-out irresponsible. Period.
You it breaks my heart too that Anthony Joshua can't get him out of there in one round. Dave Portnoy had made a comment before the fight. He said, I like Jake. I wish well for Jake. Of course I'm taking Joshua. And then Portnoy made his point. And he said, because I believe in boxing. This isn't if I'm cheering for Jake or if I think that Joshua is more experienced or better. I believe in I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympics.
Nikisa Bidarian, co-founder of MVP, spoke glowingly about Jake Paul's courage and resilience after his brutal matchup against Anthony Joshua. He spotlighted the massive heart Jake showed, pointing out that even after getting dropped repeatedly and breaking his jaw in 2 places, he kept fighting with relentless determination. Bidarian explained that Jake's showing was about more than just survival. By internal scorecards, he even captured the 4th round, revealing clear growth and improving skills as a boxer. He stressed there were no secret deals or agreements with Joshua shaping the result, warning that any effort to rig the fight would be illegal and unethical. Despite backlash from parts of the public and boxing world, Bidarian said Jake's performance showed unwavering resolve to absorb punishment from one of the sport's elite athletes. His willingness to face a world-class opponent head-on proves both courage and commitment. Bidarian also hinted at Jake's future goals, saying he remains driven to avenge his loss to Tommy Fury and prove himself further inside the ring. Overall, the remarks show Jake is ready to face top-tier competition, enduring physical and mental trials to keep growing and cement himself as a serious force in professional boxing.
It was a moral victory because he expected to win. I do think he showed who he is as a fighter. I think he deployed the strategy that he was very clear about going into, that he was going to look to make AJ miss, and AJ missed a number of times. And ultimately, I think the weight of AJ caught up to Jake Paul. If you look at the first 3 rounds, AJ wasn't really able to touch him. But when AJ was in a clinch with him a couple of times, pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved AJ back. AJ came right back in and swung.
Frank Warren applauded Jake Paul for displaying massive courage during his fight with Anthony Joshua, stressing that stepping into the ring for such a high-stakes showdown demands serious bravery and confidence. He pointed out that Jake, a cruiserweight with just 12 professional bouts, took on a gigantic task by facing a top 10 ranked heavyweight like Joshua, who remains one of the best on the planet. Despite the obvious mismatch, Jake still landed some clean shots, including sharp jabs and a knee uppercut, and even seemed to steal the 4th round in Warren's view. Warren admitted that while critics may nitpick or overanalyze the fight, everyone understands the truth. It was a huge ask, and Jake answered the call. He added that the bout delivered exactly what it promised: excitement, spectacle, and a moment for Jake to showcase his resilience, courage, and determination against elite competition.
Somewhat anticlimactic. I mean, look, the KO was fantastic, but going 6 rounds, what did you make of it?
Just took longer than he took longer than he needed done. I mean, Jake showed a lot of courage, but the money they're getting, that's what you do. You got to show courage when you're getting that paid that type of money, and he did. He was obviously, it was a massive ask of him, a cruiserweight who's only had 12 fights, and against sort of not the greatest opposition, to be stepping up and fighting somebody of AJ's ilk, who's still a top 10 ranked heavyweight in the world. And he did, in my opinion, he caught him a couple of jabs, nearly caught him a good uppercut, and I thought the 4th round, I thought he nicked it. So what do I think of it? I thought, AJ got a few quid, good luck to him, God bless him and whatever, but come on, Let's not all. Well, no one's running away with it, are they? We all know what it was. We're not, we're not stupid. We all know. You got eyeballs, and all these moaners are moaning. What'd you go and buy it for? What was you expecting to see? It was what it was. It billed for what it was, and that was it. I mean, I didn't stay up to see it. I just put it on when I got up in the morning and watched it back on Netflix, and that's it. And I don't agree with all this stuff about it besmirches boxing. Whether it's not boxing, it wasn't sanctioned by any, as far as I understand, any of the governing bodies. It went on in Florida, and a bit like Texas, they let things go on that won't get on elsewhere.
On Jake Paul's performance as a whole, Eddie's come off the back of it and said, look, he's not a world beater. I thought he was an average cruiserweight. I'd say now he's probably a decent cruiserweight. Have you changed your thoughts on his level at all?
No, because look, he's a professional boxer. He trains as a professional.
Timothy Bradley blasted Jake Paul's game plan, saying that running away was the absolute worst strategy against a dominant opponent. Bradley stressed that when dealing with a bully in the ring, a fighter has to stand his ground early to send a clear message and earn respect. He argued that Jake's failure to assert himself from the opening bell stopped him from gaining that respect, which ultimately hurt his overall performance. Bradley added that many boxing experts had predicted this outcome, expecting Jake to avoid confrontation instead of fighting decisively. He suggested that if he were in Jake's corner, he would have pushed him to accept the challenge, reminding him of the massive payday and demanding he show courage and dominance in the ring. According to Bradley, standing firm is essential to any fighter's credibility.
Really a fight, to be honest with you. It was not a fight, because Jake ran like a bitch. I said bitch, I didn't say real one. So, but I'm just saying he ran. And, I knew, and I was talking to different boxing pundits, around, and they were asking me, Tim, what would you do if you was in the same situation as Jake Paul? And this was before the fight. I talked to a lot of people outside, and I told them, I said, see, they gonna run, and that's the worst thing that they can do. When you facing a guy, bully, you got to stand up to the bully. You got to send a message early on. We talk about fighting for, dominance or, getting respect. See, that was the issue. Jake didn't get respect early on. If I was in his corner, I would have said, hey, man, look, we here. You getting paid $94 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here to fight, bruh. We not here to survive. We here to fight. But you got to go out here and you got to hit this man as hard as you possibly can in the first round. You got to step to him. You got to, almost like kamikaze style. You got to attack him, because if you put AJ on his back foot and you keep him defensive, AJ is not a great fighter off his back foot as he is when he's coming forward. And AJ is the type of guy that feeds off of guys that, respect him, one, or fear him. And AJ felt, because of the experience that he has, he felt like this dude fears me. You know what I mean? He's already on his...
Circling around, Brendan Schaub criticized how Jake Paul's fight with Anthony Joshua was promoted, calling the hype misleading and completely unrealistic. He said presenting it as a real question of whether Jake could beat Joshua was laughable, since there was never a believable chance of an upset. Schaub pointed to the massive gap in skill and size between them, explaining that while some fans talked about a puncher's chance, that idea is fantasy against an elite heavyweight. He added that even if Jake hits hard for his division, it still doesn't come close to the power and ability of top-level heavyweights. Schaub suggested a more honest marketing angle would have asked whether Jake could survive, last the rounds, and avoid getting knocked out. With realistic expectations set, fans could have respected Jake's performance without being sold impossible storylines.
Come off that Anthony Joshua's not taking this real, and he's not putting his best performance forward. That's the issue. The issue is Anthony's like, how much you gonna pay me? It's on Netflix? Hold up. I can fight this guy who, when I was an amateur teenager, I fought better guys. And I have how much weight on him? I can fight him for how much money? Dude, I'll beat him in my sleep. Correct. And you should. And it's such a disservice to the sport of boxing and to the actual fans of boxing if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and absolutely dominate Jake Paul. If it goes to decision, if it goes past 6 rounds, Houston, we have a problem. Boxing, we have a problem. And now, people are going, where was this energy with Gervonta Davis? Different. You're talking about a very, very small guy. I've worked with Gervonta. He's fucking tiny. And size can overshadow a lot of that stuff. I still think Gervonta should still win that fight. And the body shots, if he's taking it seriously, that should have got the job done. But obviously he has his legal issues and that went out the window. But when you're talking about an actual world-class heavyweight who went toe-to-toe with Klitschko, with fucking all these bad boys, if Anthony Joshua takes this serious, as he should, this shouldn't even be a competition. And it's brilliant because for Jake, okay, cool, man, got knocked out by one of the best to ever do it, or got finished by one of the best to do it. At least I got in there. And I'm not even a heavyweight. I'm a cruiserweight at best. Either I'm too light in the ass for that. I should be fighting down. He's shooting for the moon.
Sean Porter acknowledges Jake Paul's bravery despite the intense criticism he has absorbed following his recent matchup. Many boxing fans and analysts have attacked Jake for accepting fights viewed as mismatches or for entering the ring without classic boxing credentials. Some have even urged him to quit, warning that these decisions could damage his career or public image. Still, amid all the backlash, Porter stresses that it takes real courage to stand across from some of the world's best fighters, no matter how others judge it. He notes that Jake has repeatedly proven he is willing to risk criticism and public opinion to chase his goals in the sport. Porter points out that ignoring outside noise and choosing your own path demands serious mental toughness. And Jake shows that quality consistently. Even when the odds are stacked against him or when fans doubt his ability, he steps into the ring determined to prove himself. While many focus only on the controversy surrounding his career choices, Porter credits Jake for his fearlessness and commitment. In Porter's view, the willingness to face dangerous opponents is a trait that deserves recognition, regardless of the constant criticism swirling around him.
Setting in of fighting a fighter like that would make you shit yourself and have a nervous breakdown in the locker room. So he's right in giving Jake credit for that. But then immediately after says, you know, what was that? You know, and he's right. So he's right about that. Well, here's to support Paulie's claim about it all is, we criticize fighters who made a lot less money, who have a lot more pedigree for excessive movement, stinking the place out, all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, think of how much Shakur got for the De Los Santos fight. Some of it deserved, like, you know, it is what it is. You're fighting for the title, and it's a big boys game, and you deserve the criticism and the praise that you get. So Paulie's point, it's like, guys who have fought at a lot higher level for a lot less money have gotten a lot more criticism than for the effort Jake Paul put forth, where he was moving a lot. But I mean, I'll get to the other deeper aspects of it all, but to give Jake Paul credit, he did wing some right hands with the intention of knocking Anthony Joshua out. And he did fight the fight that I said he would fight. I did not pick the fight last week, so for people trying to cook me, I didn't want really too much to do with this fight. But he did move excessively, you could say, but that was his only path to victory, was to just move against the bigger man and then wing the occasional shot and hope Joshua, who's been knocked out a few times, can't take that shot. But Joshua could take the shot. And to give each guy their due, Paulie summed it up perfectly. If you want to really hear Jake Paul get some credit, listen to my guy Max Kellerman, who talked about his big imagination and pulling things, not letting other people's limitations and ideas of you stop you and your dreams and all that. But to give Joshua his due, along with
That wraps today's breakdown. Stay locked in. Catch you next.